Derbyite, we are back to talk about the Golden Globes, the film categories. It's one of the most exciting days of the year. I'm Rob Licura, Senior Editor at Gold Derby. I'm here with Kevin Jacobsen, Sam Eckmann, Luca Giliberti, and Riley Chow. Really just the A-team here. We're so excited to talk about the film categories. It's a really open year, I think, actually. There's a lot to unpack. So I'm going straight to Germany, to Luca Giliberti. We're going to talk about Best Film Drama because I'm a little bit confused about what's going to win here. I need you to guide us. Tell us what's going to win and why.
Oh, I wish I could guide you. I currently have Trial of the Chicago 7 in the first position. I've had it there for quite a long time. I actually have it winning the Oscar at the moment, which is one of the main reasons why, obviously, we don't predict the drama film Globe winners just because we're predicting the Oscar winners. But the movie got 5 nominations. It's nominated in director, it's nominated in screenplay, it has an acting nomination, and it has a song nomination. They love Aaron Sorkin. He's been nominated so many times. He's probably going to win the screenplay category. And now he has this big movie in contention, which he not only wrote, but also directed. I think the Hollywood Foreign Press Association might want to give it to him. Plus, it's this very, very relevant, timely movie that became even more relevant this year after the insurrection at the Capitol. And it is this, it's a package. You have the acting showcase, you have this big ending that is considered a crowd-pleasing ending, you have this witty dialogue, it's entertaining, it's the full package, which is why I have it at number 1. What I think could upset is actually Promising Young Woman. It overperformed. It got director, it got screenplay, and it got him for Carey Mulligan. I did not expect it to perform this well. It's this big, buzzy, cool movie that I think if they really, really loved it, they could try to anoint it as a front runner for the Oscars. So I could see that upsetting. Those are the top 2 for me right now.
That's so interesting. Oh, sorry, I just heard an echo.
Still echoing.
Yeah, can you hear that echo? Anyway, so I think that is really interesting, Luca, because when you look at those 5 films and where else they're nominated, they've all done quite well. The Father missed out on a director nomination, but they've all done well. And it's fascinating that you're saying Promising Young Woman could upset Trial of Chicago 7, which does appear to be a safe bet. I'm wondering, Kevin, do you think, are you on the same page with Luca, or do you think something else might happen in this top category?
I feel like I know in my gut that it's probably just going to be the Trial of the Chicago 7, but I feel honestly like sometimes we just assume certain things about the Golden Globes, that like they're going to award Lady Gaga for A Star Is Born, and yet they don't. And so I'm sort of trying to maneuver through and put puzzle pieces together and figure out where they can award certain films and that sort of thing, like math it out. So I will say Luca is probably right about that hunch, but I still think there is a possibility for Nomadland to just win. I mean, it has been the front runner with critics for this entire award season. There's a new trailer out that has like a full list of all the awards that it's won. I mean, it's just been such a front runner. And sometimes the Golden Globes do just go with that. Like Boyhood didn't seem like a particularly Golden Globes type of movie, but that still won Best Picture. I sort of just think because of how much it has won so far that it's not going to just end suddenly with the Golden Globes. Like I feel like even if Nomadland doesn't go on to win at DGA or PGA or the Oscar or BAFTA, you know, I don't think that this is the end quite yet for Nomadland, that maybe it just gets this and director and that's it, and that's great. But yeah, sort of deep down, I do feel like it's probably Chicago 7, but I do have a little bit of bias of my own because I love Nomadland. So I do acknowledge that. But I do think it will still connect with voters more than people are necessarily thinking at the moment, and comparing it to movies like Roma and things like that. I don't think it's a similar situation. So that's where I'm at.
You know, I think you could be onto something because the other day I was put on the spot. I hadn't really given it much thought yet, and someone just out of the blue said to me as we were just having a conversation about something else, "What do you think's going to win the Golden Globe for Best Film?" And I was like, Nomadland. It just came to me because I just feel like it's people seem to really love that movie, and to me, it feels like a movie that kind of that demographic who vote for the Golden Globes might appreciate. But yeah, I think that's a really good issue. I was wondering though, Sam, don't you feel like with Mank with like 6 nominations that we might be underestimating it?
I mean, it has a lot of nominations, but I don't think so. I think Trial of the Chicago 7 has really pulled ahead as the Netflix contender that can really challenge Nomadland for all of the awards this season. And I don't know, there's something about Trial of Chicago 7 that feels like it's as close as we have in this weird year where all these like major big production movies have been pushed back. Trial of the Chicago 7 just feels big. And that they loved those at the Globes. They loved 1917, The Revenant, Avatar have all won Best Drama. And so they love backing those big productions with massive casts full of, Hollywood actors that they love. And Mank, sure, it is because it's about Hollywood and because it's about, the making of movies and the making of a very beloved movie. It is, of course, going to be recognized with nominations everywhere, but I feel like narratively, people want to vote for something that makes them feel good about voting for it. It's not only just that the movie is excellent, it also has to represent something that really makes you feel like, God, I really want to give this a win and give that a platform. And I think with the timeliness of the social message of Chicago 7, that puts it over Mank. Mank doesn't have that sort of narrative to me. It has the we're making a movie about Hollywood, which I think in this year is not going to be enough.
Yeah, that's my impression as well. And then after we say all of that, Riley, is it possible that something like The Father, which people really love because it's such an emotional roller coaster, especially again for this demographic, right? Could it squeak through, or is the lack of director nomination kind of really a huge handicap for that film?
Yeah, I've been bullish on The Father for the Oscars and for all these awards in general. I did have it predicted for a director nomination, and I think it missing that nomination kind of killed its chances. And possibly Anthony Hopkins as well, because it has been like 27 years since a film was like properly snubbed in director and then went on to win drama. That was Scent of a Woman. So yeah, I'm not counting The Father as a contender. I'm also not counting Mank as a contender. It does have those 6 nominations. So did The Post. Gone Girl had 4 nominations. I don't think they feel like they need to award David Fincher. They love Hollywood. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood won all those awards last year for some reason. They also loved La La Land. But Mank, I feel like nobody really cares about. Good as that film is.
Yeah.
I think it's between the other 3.
So sticking with you, Riley, then if we move over to actor in a drama, I'm still holding on to Anthony Hopkins being a possibility, but are you on the train of saying that the late Chadwick Boseman pretty much has this wrapped up?
Yeah, it's very tricky with The Father because nobody's seen it. Nobody in the Oscar blogosphere, film Twitter really has seen that movie, or Mauritanian, I guess. So yeah, it's hard to support predictions for that just going off of what other people say, which is what we do in the early parts of the season. But this late in the season, people like to insert their own opinions somehow. So I've heard Anthony Hopkins is great. I'm sure he is, but I would like to see it for myself to make up my mind whether I think he fits the bill of the kind of role that wins. So I do have Chadwick Boseman. His film is not nominated outside of acting, which is a little concerning. He's also not nominated in supporting actor, which he doesn't need. But I mean, they did nominate Anya Taylor-Joy twice instead of nominating Meryl Streep once. So I feel like they can give you a second nomination if they really like you.
See, the lack of the Ma Rainey film nomination has really been bothering me. And I mean, I thankfully have now seen Anthony Hopkins and can see why there's some hype there. And obviously the foreign press have seen it. I am so puzzled. What do you think, Luca? Because I'll just do whatever you guys say.
Yeah, this one's a very difficult one. I've had Anthony Hopkins out in front for quite a while now. The reason Chadwick Boseman it looked like he was going to sweep at the beginning of the season. And, but the lack of a film nomination for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom also has me concerned, as it has you concerned as well. And The Father got 4 nominations. I know Riley mentioned it did not get a director nomination, and obviously the director nomination would have given more confidence in predicting Anthony Hopkins, but I still think they're going to reward this movie somewhere. Obviously, some people might predict it in screenplay, others might predict it in supporting actress for Olivia Colman. I think actor is the place to reward this movie, considering it's Anthony Hopkins, who is giving supposedly one of the best performances in his career. And he has never won an individual Golden Globe Award. He's won the Cecil B. DeMille Award that in 2006, I believe, but he never received a Golden Globe Award for acting. Obviously, this doesn't always matter, especially because some of these members might not have been members, several decades ago. But I do think it matters. And it's weird to mention a narrative and then discount Chadwick Boseman's undeniable narrative, which is that he's giving this career best performance. It's a very difficult race, but I'll stay with Anthony Hopkins for now. For me, it also very much has to do with what happens in the actress race. So I'll be interested to see which one is presented first at the Golden Globes.
Well, actually, sticking with you before we move on to the other two guys, who do you have for actress? Because that's another killer for me.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I have Carey Mulligan. I had Viola Davis for many months, but Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, it needed more than 2 acting nominations. And what I meant with, if Chadwick Boseman does not win actor, I do think there is a chance that they give it to Viola, an actress, just to have her speak on his behalf and to give this big speech and to maybe reward this movie somewhere. But the same argument that I used for The Father, I'm going to use for Promising Young Woman. Maybe it wins picture, but I currently don't have it winning best drama picture. So it has to win somewhere. So I have it winning for Carey Mulligan, who carries this movie on her shoulders.
Yeah.
Again, 4 nominations for the film, they're going to reward it somewhere. And it's very competitive. I think anyone, and I mean this seriously, in the top 5 could win this award.
Wow. You know what? You just said something before that really blew my mind. I completely forgot that Anthony Hopkins lost to Nick Nolte back in the day. Was that right? Nick Nolte? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Completely forgot that. I just, for some reason, thought, oh, yeah, he won the Globe and then he won the Oscar for Silence of the Lambs, blah, blah, blah. No, that didn't happen. So I am now feeling a bit more confident about Anthony Hopkins. And on the actress side, I think that's a tough one, but I'm going with Carey Mulligan as well. It's going to be like a coronation, so to speak. They love doing that for young ingenues. Kevin, what about you? What do you think of the top 2 races?
I do also have Anthony Hopkins for the same reasons that Luca said, and also for the fact that they do really enjoy being the first to kind of go and because I feel like this has been a race that's been like Riz Ahmed has won a lot of critics awards, Chadwick Boseman has won a lot of critics awards, Anthony Hopkins not so much, mostly because a lot of people still haven't seen it, but still, I do think they would kind of enjoy being the first group to be like, here you go, Anthony Hopkins, you're the front runner now. That's something they like to do. Yeah. So that is all of that, plus the fact that he's never won, plus the fact that The Father got into picture and screenplay, I think is a clear sign that they've actually enjoyed the movie, even beyond the acting. So yeah, so that's that. But with actress, I still think it's kind of up in the air. I do think Carey Mulligan is this is her best chance at a win with this season, because I feel like maybe like Viola Davis could win at SAG. Things could happen, you never know. But I feel like with the way Promising Young Woman did so well with getting into director and picture and screenplay, yeah, this is, as Rob said, kind of like, I know she hasn't been, like, she's not an ingenue anymore, I suppose. Like, she was an ingenue with an education, perhaps, but still, she's been putting in a lot of good work. She is still young, and it's just one of those classic, like, you know, it's just such a bold and in-your-face kind of performance that they tend to enjoy over more subtle work, such as what maybe Frances McDormand is giving.
Oh, love it. Sam, are you on the same page?
Oh, y'all, it's Chadwick. I don't know what is.
Are you kidding?
I don't know what you are thinking. The Chadwick Boseman narrative is so freaking strong this year. It is the perfect, like, he went in, he knew it's like, first of all, the role is crafted for a big ass performance that awards bodies just eat up. Chadwick is amazing in it. He also gives the performance of his life because he knew that his life was going to be ending soon. He knew that this could be the last performance and went in and gave the performance of his life. And that is how you win all these awards. I think, that being said, if he is going to be losing anywhere, it will be at the Globes, because if actors are voting on this like they will at SAG, like they will at the Oscars, he's unbeatable. Hollywood Foreign Press are not really actors. They're the Hollywood Foreign Press. So they could, you know, go a different direction.
They do a different kind of acting.
Yeah.
That's a whole other story.
That's another video, Riley. But I just think, you know, I think Chadwick would even be the front runner if he was still alive, but because the performance is that good. But I think the sentiment around him is so strong this year that it's just pretty undeniable. And they're going to want to have that moment of recognition for him on stage. Lead actress is a different, I've been waffling back and forth between Viola Davis and Carey Mulligan. I do think they really obviously love Promising Young Woman, and she's the most obvious place to reward that film. I also know, like, they've been making a huge deal in the campaign for Ma Rainey out of the historic nature that Viola Davis's win would produce. Obviously, that's mostly with Oscar stats, but I think also Whoopi Goldberg is the only Black woman to win this category. So it would also be a huge deal at the Golden Globes for her to win, even though she's not maybe as dominating her film as the other people are, because some people say she should have gone supporting. It's still this big scene chewy performance. She comes in and just steamrolls everyone.
Oh, yeah.
And so she has a chance to still get a win there. It would still be a pretty epic moment.
It's so good. Like, Viola Davis is so damn good in Ma Rainey's. Just personally, and I would have voted for Vanessa Kirby even. I just think it's such a strong category. Before we move off to comedy, Riley, you didn't give us your choice for actress. Who are you going for and why?
Yeah, I think it's Carey Mulligan. I don't think much needs to be said about that. So I'll talk about the film drama race, which I didn't really touch on so much.
Okay, Shade.
That one, Nomadland, Trial of Chicago 7, Promising Young Woman. I think we've seen winners like each of them in recent years. So I think it really is, you know, a toss-up with, you know, some kind of multi-sided coin for that category. And then since everybody's predicting either Trial of Chicago 7 or Nomadland, I'm going with Promising Young Woman, which does leave you feeling amped up like Bohemian Rhapsody or Three Billboards.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Speaking
Depends
about
on your interpretation, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of feeling amped up, I felt that way after watching Borat's subsequent movie film, and that's my segue to the comedy categories. I think it's, for me, I'm going with a 3 for 3. I think Borat's going to win. I think Sacha Baron Cohen's going to win. I think Maria Bakalov's going to win. That's it. That's all I have to say. Although I think that they could maybe give it to Hamilton. They could maybe give it to Lin-Manuel Miranda, and they could maybe even give it to someone like Rosamund Pike, even though her film's not nominated, because I Care a Lot has just released on Netflix and people are starting to see it and they love it. So, Kevin, comedy, where do you stand?
Well, I do have Sacha Baron Cohen and Maria Bakalova both winning at the moment, but I am kind of tempted by Lin-Manuel Miranda just because, he's Lin-Manuel Miranda, and this is going to be like the only place that his performance in this project is really going to be honored, because it's not even eligible for Oscars. So that is also why I have Hamilton winning Best Comedy Musical, because it is in this year where not a lot of like casual people watched a lot of movies. That was a movie that just so many people saw, and it was a sensation, and it is a musical, and they love musicals. That's it.
They do. The other day I was talking to someone who had never even heard of Hamilton, which I know some of you would find that crazy, particularly Sam, who lives in New York City. But that people are just finding it on Disney Plus, and now it's changed their lives, so to speak. Like they listen to it every day and they watch it with their kids. So I think you're onto something there. That could be a possibility. Do you agree, Sam, that Hamilton is maybe a spoiler here?
I have it winning right now. I don't think it'll be able to win acting awards. I'm not predicting Lin-Manuel to win, but I think if we look at, the Globes love following trends and they love to seem cool and surprise you. And I don't know that anything this year had like, when else did we all, or at least I know two of you are not in the country, but when else did the entire country sit down and basically watch a movie together on the same day in this pandemic year? I mean, Disney doing that thing for Independence Day was such a smart move. It was such a like huge part of, the zeitgeist this year of movie going to release that on that day. And I think again, the Globes love musicals, and this is one of, the most successful of all time at this point. So they will want to jump on board. I have a problem with backing Lin-Manuel for the award because it's like, well, if they were going to give him a win, like, why didn't Leslie Odom Jr. get nominated, or any of the other people, Daveed Diggs or Renee Elise Goldsberry? There's great performances all around, and he was the only one singled out as sort of the face of it, because I think there's just sort of some people feel weird about giving a film or TV trophy to a performance that was made for the stage, whereas for the actual product, it wasn't just like they put a single cam in the theater. It's filmed with multiple angles they had to shoot stuff by itself outside of a performance. It's from two different performances. So I think the product, the actual film, will get the comedy award, but I don't think it'll pick up an acting trophy.
Okay. Yeah, that's just made my predicting even harder. So thanks a lot for that. And what about you, Luca? What do you think?
For me, the big question is, how many is Sacha Baron Cohen going to win?
Okay.
I have him winning, spoiler alert, in supporting actor. Yeah. So for me, the decision is, do I predict him twice, or do I only predict him in supporting actor? Right now, I'm only predicting him in supporting actor. I'm actually going with Lin-Manuel in comedy actor for the reasons that have already been mentioned. I think Sam has a very good point that they might not want to go for this in the acting categories. I wouldn't look too much to the Leslie Odom Jr. snub because he's nominated twice already in supporting actor and in song. I don't know if they wanted to give him a third nomination. I think that might just be the reason why. That being said, I could easily see them just giving this to Sacha Baron Cohen. I could see him pulling a Kate Winslet and winning two on the same night. They obviously love Borat. I think even if it does not walk away with the film category, I do still think it can win both acting categories because, like everyone else, I have Maria Bakalova winning comedy actress. It's funny. I think it'll be a split between Borat and Hamilton in all three of these categories. I would watch out for Rosamund Pike in comedy actress, though. I think this movie is gaining a lot of steam right now. The fact that she was nominated before anyone saw this, obviously the Hollywood Foreign Press Association saw it before the public did, but I think she was also nominated for A Private War. They really love her. So if they want to finally give her something, it might be this year.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there. Riley, what about you?
think that everyone was let down by the Borat sequel, so I don't see how it can win 3 Golden Globes. I think it was limited in what it could do because Borat is such a celebrity now. So we're all happy to have Borat back, but for such lukewarm received film to sweep the Golden Globes, I don't see that happening, especially when we have something like Hamilton, which everybody loves and thinks is one of the greatest things ever. So you've got something that everybody loves, something that people are kind of, I'm glad it's back, but not what it used to be. They nominate Sacha Baron Cohen every year for something that he gets snubbed for at the Emmys, so I don't think that they need to award him. I think they're perfectly happy to just keep nominating him. And when they have him nominated in supporting actor, where he could go on to win the Oscar, I think that's going to be more of a priority for them than throwing him a consolation prize for Borat. So I've got Hamilton taking film, actor, and Borat taking actress.
Okay, that's okay. I think that's fair enough. I think I may have to revisit those predictions. We're running out of time, unfortunately, so I just want to go through the other categories, and I'll stick with you, Riley. For supporting actor and actress, I'm very confused on actor in particular, and at the moment, I'm just going with Jared Leto because I want to. And in supporting actress, I think I'm going to go with what's her name, Olivia Colman. But although I think Jodie Foster is a possibility. What about you?
Yeah, they love Olivia Colman. They love The Father. So yeah, I think that's a great prediction. Jared Leto, well, I'm not predicting him. I have Sacha Baron Cohen. I think it could be Daniel Kaluuya. I would love to see that. I thought that film was great. I'm a little disheartened by how it is not nominated in, Best Film Drama, for example. And I think the Hollywood Foreign Press is much more excited to see Sacha Baron Cohen give a speech than Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah, okay. Luca, what about you?
Well, I also have Sacha Baron Cohen winning supporting actor for the reasons Riley already mentioned. I think Jared Leto is a spoiler. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that. I know his nomination was surprising, but the fact that he was nominated here and at SAG tells me that this movie and this movie has a bigger audience, and this performance is much more acclaimed than we might have initially thought it was. So I would look out for him. My hope diction would be Daniel Kaluuya, but for the reason Riley already mentioned, the fact that the movie doesn't have any other nominations outside of song and supporting actor worries me a bit. In supporting actress, I have been on the Glenn Close train since the minute the Prediction Center opened in August, and sure, the movie got lukewarm reviews. She still got in. I think she's going to win the Oscar. I could see Amanda Seyfried upsetting here. Mank, or not upsetting, I believe she's the front runner in our odds. Mank was nominated, as we said, 6 times. She embodies everything the Hollywood Foreign Press Association loves. She is considered one of the best parts of the movie. I think she can absolutely happen. It'll be interesting if she wins, because she is not nominated at SAG. So that would make the race all the more interesting.
Yeah, Sam. So.
Well, supporting actress is where The Father can get some love, folks, not for Anthony Hopkins, but Olivia Colman can totally win this. I do think Amanda Seyfried is a definite threat to her. Glenn Close, they don't have the same thing with the Oscars of having snubbed her all these years. Like, she got in for The Wife, or she won for that. So I'm not seeing Glenn pull off the win here, even though an Oscar might be more likely for her. I think this is where The Father gets recognized. And for supporting actor, I have Leslie Odom Jr. for One Night in Miami. I think he has a lot. He's just an incredibly charismatic, likable person when he's in interviews, when he's out here on campaigning for stuff. He has a ton of huge moments in this movie. He's really almost a co-lead. And there was a lot of, the thing that people, like film Twitter and all these people dinged the Globes for this year was, even though they had 3 women in director, the films that missed drama were all of these Black-centered stories, like One Night in Miami, like Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, The Five Bloods, Judas and the Black Messiah. Those are the ones that missed the drama category. And I think they will try to save face here. We know they've been shamed into action before when everyone shamed them for like nominating The Tourist. for several things. They sort of quickly about-faced the following year. So I think I think Leslie Odom Jr. stands a good chance at this category.
And Kevin.
Sacha Baron Cohen and Glenn Close on their way to an Oscar. Period.
Wow. Period. Okay, that would be fun. Now, because we're out of time, I'm just going to let you all have one final say, 25 words or less of the remaining categories. I will say a woman will win Best Director, and I'm hoping that Diane Warren might win Song. Go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, I co-sign that. I'm always hoping that Diane Warren wins anything because she's a queen. But yes, I'm very, very, very curious to see this director race because, as was previously mentioned, Chloe Zhao has really just dominated with critics, and I'm wondering if it ends there or if we just keep on that train. So I do agree that ideally a woman will win this, but you never know. Globe's gonna globe.
Sam.
I do think director will be Nomadland's only Globe win, contrary to the rest of the season, and Soul will win animated feature and score.
Okay, Luca.
I think Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross will walk home with a win, but for Mank in score. That's my prediction. They don't like to reward animated movies outside of animated film. I hope it goes. I hope Soul wins score, but I think if they have to choose between Mank and Soul, they'll probably give it to the duo for Mank.
Okay, and Riley.
Yeah, I was surprised to see Soul nominated in score, actually, even though it is the season frontrunner. I've got another round in foreign language film because I think we saw in many categories that they don't care about Minati.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you could be. That would be quite sad. By the way, that foreign language film category is very strong. And let's see what happens there, guys. Let's all come back and do TV in a sec. Everybody, stick with Gold Derby. We've got the best awards coverage on the internet, and we'll see you soon.